Okay, we got the conditions for the state government. All right. This is sort of a breakdown of what I'll be going over. Colorado General Assembly. Got a pretty good breakdown right here of what it looks like. Democrats have more than two-thirds of the seats in both houses. So they can kind of just they can do a lot of stuff. They have a lot of power. These are just some kind of key summaries. They're limited in how long they can serve. So there's a lot of turnover. Um, Democrats, they don't seem to like to touch oil and gas very much in terms as an issue. And the Republicans, they often clash with the Democrats. They just sort of go against them no matter what. So I'm not going to take time to tell everyone who the representative is. You can go to this map and figure it out. These are all the senators and representatives in Denver. So if you live within Denver city limits, these people, some of these people are your representatives. I put this in here because this is a huge key topic at the state level. It's kind of oil and gas's role. They only make up, oil and gas only makes up about 2%, 3% of the state's revenue every year. There have been a number of ballot initiatives and bills to regulate fracking and ban fracking, and they're always met with very harsh and strong opposition. This one in particular was the biggest one to date in 2018, got defeated. There's so much advertising against it from the industry. And then in 2024, this bill was an ozone regulation bill, one of like three, I believe. And you'll see from lobbyists, overwhelming amount of people voted to or pushed to oppose it, pushed to get it not passed, which it didn't pass. And so this is here to highlight that oil and gas lobby is strong in Colorado. Here's a few other points. Big point to make. Colorado is one of the largest producing oil and gas states in the U.S. Tabor. We'll be really quick with Tabor. It's the taxpayers' bills of rights. A lot of people want this to know more about this because this is a huge part of why our budget is kind of chaos all the time. It limits how much tax revenue the state's allowed to spend, and whatever it doesn't spend, it has to return to taxpayers. This is the guy who lobbied for it. He's also kind of a criminal. So, yeah. The reason why this is problematic is because the Tabor limit isn't really accounting for like increasing costs, like important government programs, like school lunches and healthcare and whatnot. A lot of those costs are going up. Tax revenue is kind of going down. The Tabor limit is going down, and you'll see it's had mostly a steady rise, but like the tax revenue's gone up. But all that has to just get returned to taxpayers. It can't really be used or spent. And there's some positives to that for sure, but it just makes managing the budget and paying for all the essential programs pretty difficult. At least the programs people like. And when they focus on that, it takes away from focusing on other more important, well, not more important, but other important issues. This is kind of a better breakdown of what I just said. Um, there's another budget shortfall, not related to Colorado, that required the special session. That is not caused by Tabor. That's caused by the big beautiful bill. Our governor is Jared Polis. He Democrat. Before he was governor, he was a U.S. representative from Boulder. Before that, he was a tech entrepreneur. Um, Grew up on the West Coast. Went to a prestigious college. Classic kind of fellow that way. He's also notably like a libertarian Democrat. He was part of a libertarian caucus in Congress. And many people would say that shows up in the way he vetoes bills, usually his reasonings for vetoing stuff. I put in here in quotes some of his reasonings for doing what he did. Um, he hasn't been a huge friend of the climate movement. He ran on a pro climate platform, but yeah, he's shot down a lot of and opposed a lot of uh, initiatives that would have taken a lot of action to decrease pollution. And here's an extended list of what he's done. And here's some things he's done that aren't related to climate that haven't been too great. A lot of it relating to worker related issues and rent and affordable housing. So that's kind of notable. There's sort of three agencies that the climate activists kind of come across: AQCC, ECMC, PUC. This is sort of a visual of where you'd have to deal with each one. AQCC deals with air quality standards, enforcing those standards, responding to any violation of those standards. And there's a wide array: carbon dioxide, methane. Uh, yeah, there's a wide array. And then the ECMC deals with anything oil and gas. Whenever an oil and gas company wants to develop on non-federal land, they have to get their project approved by the ECMC. And the PUC deals with anything utility related. Rate increases, any plans for like utility infrastructure, so like plants and pipeline, whatnot. Suncor refinery in Denver violates air quality standards all the time. So whenever people are kind of fighting Suncor, they often have to deal with the AQCC. Um, ECMC deals with oil and gas. There's a couple big oil and gas projects on the east sort of Front Range area that are like being developed way too close to homes and schools. And so the people who are opposed to that, which are most people, they've got to go through the ECMC. The ECMC used to be the Oil and Gas Conservation Commission, so they just haven't really um, not gone in favor of the industry ever, even after their name and sort of image change. PUC, so like Xcel Energy, the big utility in Denver, they have several plants and that are run on coal, and so they're dealing with that, like phasing out coal. How are they going to make up for that energy? You know, what's their plan? There's been a lot of reviews through the PUC, um, so that's when you go through them. And I didn't prepare much for this, but basically, state level, there's several races. In 2026, you've got Jared Polis isn't eligible to be reelected, so we've got a governor's race, a big one too, with a U.S. senator who's hasn't been great. And there's an attorney general election. One of the candidates there wants to meet with us. And then there's several House and Senate district elections. There's one in Commerce City with a candidate who we like, allegedly. So yeah, they're my image credits where I took the images. So thanks for letting me talk. Hope it was informative. Hope it wasn't boring. Yeah, thank you.